As cinematographers, we always want our films to look as good as possible. But what separates a film with beautiful cinematography from one with forgetful cinematography may surprise you. It isn't the camera, the lenses, or the color grade that make a film truly beautiful, but rather, does the visual approach match the story that you're telling? Pretty pictures alone won't make for good cinematography. In this video, we'll talk about finding themes in the story and how to properly communicate those themes visually through camera movement, lighting, and camera and lens choices. When a narrative cinematographer reads a script for the first time, they generally don't immediately think about what lenses they're going to use or what kind of camera movement will carry that scene. Instead, they try to find the theme of the story or the scene to later inform choices that they'll make shot to shot. Shooting a documentary is no different, except we don't have a script to go off of. All we have is an idea. Talk with the director to hear their thoughts on the film and try to break down the overarching themes, mood, and shape of the story. How do you want the audience to feel while watching the film? These questions will inform your decisions moving forward. The visual approach you'll take will help decide how the story is communicated to the audience. Does the story feel like it should be shot entirely handheld, emphasizing the immediacy of the action? Would using gimbals support a steady, flowing, meditative story? Would locked-off compositions convey a structured, quiet story where the action unfolds within a confined yet purposeful frame? Maybe and probably it makes sense to combine some of these approaches, but you'll only know when and where it makes sense if you understand the story that you're trying to tell. How should the lighting feel? Dark and moody? Bright and cheery? Maybe you decide to mismatch the lighting tone with the mood of the story to emphasize conflict and tension. Keep in mind, this doesn't even mean how you'll actually light a scene, but instead achieve your intent with just natural light and choosing which direction to point the camera. Maybe you shoot into a window for a darker silhouette, or film someone parallel to a window for a moody side light. Film them outside in full daylight. You can always find a way to achieve your lighting goals, even if you never place a light in the room. Does the story give you the feeling of being close and intimate with your subjects? So choosing to shoot on a wider focal length and closer in? Or maybe it's more distant, lonely, or voyeuristic, where a longer focal length lens from further away makes sense. Do you want maximum separation of your subjects from their environment to convey isolation, their inner thoughts, or a dreamy feeling? You can choose to shoot wide open with a shallow depth of field. Or maybe the environment plays an important role in the story, becoming a character all its own. Shooting with a deeper stop and having more in focus at all times could translate that really well. These are the types of questions you should be asking yourself when you want to set the look to a film. And there's no right or wrong approach to any of these, as long as they come from a purposeful place. You have the ability to control all of these elements, either through the placement of the camera, the practical lights you turn on or off, or the focal length and depth of field options that you can get out of your lens. Once you've gotten a good idea of the visual approach to the story, you can then start to decide what pieces of equipment will support those ideas. Will you be handheld and on your own a lot of the time? Maybe opt for a lighter weight camera that can pack and travel easily. But if you have support and are living on a tripod a lot of the time, then you can go with something bigger. Does shooting on zoom lenses make more sense to give you maximum flexibility and focal lengths without needing to constantly change lenses? Or does shooting on primes give you more control and thoughtful compositions, where you have to physically move the camera closer to bring the audience in? All of these choices both determine how you can practically get what you need to tell the story, as well as how the audience connects to that story. Your choices as a cinematographer are what connect your audience to the story that you're telling. But there's so many options out there that sometimes it can be difficult to sort through them all. This is why focusing on the themes and mood of the story first to build a solid visual foundation make the rest of the job easier to break down. And when the story takes a drastic turn from where you thought it was going, as all documentaries are going to do, then you're better prepared to adjust accordingly. There's one director I've worked with a lot, and we put in a ton of pre-production time, both for the overarching story as well as specific scenes. We'll draw references and create mental shot lists, but then when we get there, we found that the day isn't going at all like we thought it would or planned for. Everything we had in our head all goes out the window. But all of that initial planning gathered our thoughts on the themes and tones that we were after, so we could then just adapt and adjust on the fly. Because that's the beauty of documentary filmmaking. and what keeps your film looking consistent and beautiful throughout, regardless of what the day throws you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please consider subscribing to my channel, where I cover all things Verite cinematography. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.